Well, Debbie, I just turned 40, and 40's right around the corner
Right
from
around
you.
the corner.
And they say right after 40, you know what goes?
What?
The knees.
The knees. All right. Well, we have physical therapist Jared Beckstrand with us here, and we're talking about building better knees.
Correct. Yeah. And so, I mean, the knees, I've heard that you're only as healthy as your knees.
Oh,
and
okay.
that, you know, if that's the first thing to go, I mean, you know, your knees, you're always walking, moving, you know, stairs, whatever it may be. You know, you're always using your knees. You're always, you know, doing those activities. And so, if your knees aren't healthy, you're not healthy.
At
That's
40,
basically
is
what
it
comes
too
down
late to strengthen your knees?
It is. It's a lost cause. No, it's never too late to strengthen your knees. In fact, that's kind of one of the primary go-tos. I mean, obviously, as a physical therapist, that's what we do all day long. You know, people come in and they say, I have knee pain. Why does it hurt? And as you look at that, you know, one of the primary interventions that we use is strengthening. It's a great way to keep your knees healthy and active throughout your life.
You say there's one secret for happy knees. What is it?
Maintaining a healthy weight. You know, we hear all the time, again, people will come in and they say, oh, you know, in the last year or so, I've maybe put on a few pounds, things have started to hurt more, and inevitably it's that knee pain that happens. In fact, I've read that for every 1 pound of additional weight that you gain, it can result in up to an increase in up to 4 pounds of additional pressure on your knee during most activities such as walking, stairs, things like that. So the biggest thing that you can do is stay healthy and maintain a healthy weight to decrease your knee pain.
And you talk about a knee being a manifestation of other things.
Correct, yeah. And so I think a lot of times, you know, people will come in and they say, my knee hurts. And we kind of develop this mentality of looking at that under a microscope. You know, you look and you say, okay, there's the knee. Why does that hurt? But a lot of times, knee pain is a manifestation of a problem somewhere else. And so all of a sudden, you start to look into the hips, and maybe they're a little bit weak. You start to look into the ankles, or maybe there's a limitation in range of motion down there. I tell people all the time, the knee is a relatively dumb joint. I mean, you know, it flexes and it extends.
But it's
That's
crucial.
about it. It is. It's
Yeah.
crucial. And so knee pain is a manifestation, again, of, you know, the hip, of pain, weakness, limitation there, the ankle. You know, those two areas kind of control what the knee does. So start looking at those areas.
A lot of people will start running. It's like, oh, that is so hard on the knees. But you say,
Correct.
don't stop running.
You don't necessarily have to, yeah. And so, you know, we hear that all the time. I've ran my whole life and now my knees hurt. It has to be because of running. Not necessarily so. There's actually a higher correlation between knee pain and being overweight than there is between knee pain and distance running. And so, I mean, just because you're, yeah, isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
You would think, you know, kind of that repetitive pounding type thing, you think that's what's going to be causing the knee pain. Not necessarily so. You need to look at how you're running. You need to look at your strength training. You need to look at those activities rather than just cut the running out.
Now, this seems weird, but I've heard that some people run wrong or walk wrong, and they need to learn the right way to do that. Does that affect your knee?
Oh, completely. Yeah, without a doubt. Just the whole, you know, biomechanics of the knee joint can be, you know, they're greatly altered while you're running. You know, we have people come in, we'll put them, you know, on the treadmill with a video, and we look at their run, we slow it way down, and as we look at it, we think, there's a lot of work that we need to do here. As we kind of tweak those mechanical things, all of a sudden the run starts to improve and knee pain starts to go away.
It's been so surprising to me to watch how there are certain exercises you can do that help with your running, which in turn will help your knees not
Correct,
hurt.
yeah.
It's the same with like squats and lunges and that kind of thing, right?
You're exactly right. So I mean, with the knee pain, those are two of my favorite exercises actually. The squats and the lunges are a great way to strengthen the quads, the hips, the hamstrings, those areas. However, it's imperative that you do them correctly. Otherwise, you can just end up causing more damage than you are doing good. And so a cue that I give to people, try to keep your knees right over your toes. And so a lot of times they'll kind of collapse to the middle. We don't want that to happen. But then also make sure that as you're doing a squat or a lunge, make sure your knee doesn't get out in front of your toe, because that really increases the compressive forces at that patella.
Now, Jared, of course, people can come to see you to help fix something that might be broken on them, but they can also come to you for a little preventative maintenance, right? To get everything going so it doesn't get so bad.
Without a doubt, yeah. And so we get people in all the time, hey, help me to, you know, tweak whatever, help me to do this correctly, you know, give me some advice, what are some exercises I can do with this? Those patients, I mean, it's a lot easier to recommend preventative rehab rather than, you know, rehabilitative rehab, if that
Right,
makes
and
sense.
a lot of it's going to be genetic too, and you can answer those questions. Does insurance cover this kind of thing?
They do, yeah, and so we accept all insurances at Mountain Land, and usually, you know, we don't have a problem getting those covered, and there's a lot you can do to be proactive about
All right,
it.
Jared, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do so?
And so my email, jared@mlrehab.com, or you can find us on the web at www.mlrehab.com.
Very good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And here's what's coming up next on Fresh Living. We are